Man, really productive day. Spent the morning combing through Saturday night's game tape. It's just a lot to be learned, not only from a skill development standpoint, but from a strategy perspective and, from a cultural perspective. And so just wanted to devote the morning totally to that, and came out here and got some Carolina work this afternoon. We are working on a short week. And so we just transitioned and quickly moved to Carolina. A lot of good effort and energy out here today. It's important that we don't waste days in transition, being back in this environment. We've got a lot of work to do, and obviously the sand's running through the hourglass in terms of team development, in terms of guys getting an opportunity to state a case for themselves, and for us just develop the type of cohesion that's necessary to get into the season. And so we're working with urgency. Don't have any plans about who's playing or how much they're playing in Carolina. I'll talk to you guys about that tomorrow. We'll take a look at this practice tape and give a little bit more time from an injury perspective to allow people to perk up, certainly, because this is the last opportunity. We want to give every healthy man an opportunity to state a case for themselves. And so we'll leave the door ajar for those that are managing short-term injury things. I'll pause and open up for questions.
Is Kuntz's injury considered more short-term or long-term?
More short-term.
A couple of those guys are Calvin and Ben Skoranek. How do you feel about your depth at receiver right now and what you might need to add there?
I'm comfortable with it. Certainly, things get a little tight this time of year. Lines get short, and usually in one area, positionally. There's strength and safety in numbers, and so, as you mentioned, that's a group that's running a little light, but that's just a component of this time of year.
Where do you see this team's confidence right now, the cohesiveness, the field?
I don't know that I'm looking to measure that, to be quite honest with you. You can develop false confidence in August. Those things become real, obviously, in September.
Mike, Beanie said earlier today that obviously there are a couple of guys in front of him that weren't here last year, but what have you seen from him this game? What kind of role could he have with this team?
I don't worry about the Joneses, and neither should he. He should focus on improving, and he has done that. The growth between year one and year two is reasonable to expect individuals to grow not only in terms of knowledge but skill relative to their positions, and I like the trajectory of his progress in those areas.
What do you want to see out of Caleb on Thursday?
Caleb
Johnson.
I just want to continue to see him get more comfortable in this environment. I think the more comfortable he gets, the less fuel he burns in anticipation, if you will. The more his talents are going to show. I think you saw it from game one to game two. It's reasonable to expect that to continue.
You challenged him a little bit last week for the game on Saturday. Is that something you are kind of learning as well, how to manage these rookies and kind of what makes them tick?
Certainly. It's a bunch of individual relationships within this big organization, if you will. And, that started for me way back in draft prep, to be quite honest with you. It's not only getting to know the players and their skill set, but just their relationship with the game, how they best receive coaching, how they respond to challenges, etc. It's a major component of the get to know for me.
The change that has been made to the touchback on kickoff, small sample in the preseason so far, but how does that change strategy for you, and do you think it'll have the intended effect when we get to the season?
I have no idea at this juncture, because we all got different agendas this time of year. We want to kick and cover and receive kicks. We want to get to know those guys that are battling for roster spots. And so I don't think we've begun to scratch the surface from a strategic standpoint what that change might mean.
You had Boaz just kick off and not do the other stuff. What went into that rule for him Saturday?
Christian got hurt.
But you had Sauls, though.
Christian got hurt.
Okay.
Anything else?
Great. Thanks, guys.
Aaron, you said you feel like these joint practices are more beneficial to you. What do you like about them? What are you looking forward to about this one?
I said that? I think you did. Well, for the starters, yeah, because we don't play in preseason a lot of times. Yeah. I think the thing you're always hopeful for is there's not a lot of fights. We went against Tampa a couple years ago, and they had some veteran guys, and it was pretty clean practice. So hoping for another clean practice with them, but it's good to go against a different team. I think what I said was, now that I'm remembering, that you get a chance to go against not vanilla defenses. So hopefully Todd, he probably won't show everything, but we'll do some stuff that stresses our protection and give us a chance to get some film to work on.
Aaron, what are some of the things you took out of the first preseason game?
Well, I'm just silent observer, I think, for the most part, just watching the operation. And I can't stay silent the entire time on the headset because I got to be the voice of reason sometimes. Although I feel like the headset was pretty clean. There's not a lot of freaking out on there, not a lot of people talking when they shouldn't be talking. So I thought the operation was good. I thought Mason and Sky played fantastic. I thought played great, made good decisions, were good with the football, opportunistic. And like I said, it's different in the preseason. It's football-like. It's not always real football. But they brought some pressures against us late in the game, and Sky did a nice job of hanging in there and hitting key for a great contested catch touchdown. So there were a lot of great things on the film. The way we started the game, thought Mason was super efficient. Giving Darnell a big body ball there in the red zone was great. And I think there's always things to work on, the details, especially with the second units. We're a little bit off. But I thought overall, you scored 30, you don't turn the ball over. You really only have one sack because Mason's taking the other one there on that one. A combination with KJ not getting out. And I thought it was a pretty clean game.
Aaron, it seems like the fluidity continues to improve with the first team offense out here. What's leading to that?
Well, I think I'm playing a little bit better. I feel comfortable in the offense, and DK and I have been getting on the same page a little more frequently, which helps. But we've had some injuries. Obviously, Calvin's been out for a while, so we'd love to get him back. But it gives opportunities for other guys. I think Scotty's done a really nice job, made a lot of plays for us. I think Roman's starting to feel confident in what he's doing. I love the tight ends. I think you're getting a lot of production out of those guys. Again, with Johnny out, one guy I'd love to single out is Connor. I mean, Connor does the right thing every time. He's a really smart football player, and the smartest players are the best players. So he's the kind of guy you feel real confident that you can put him in there at any time and know he's going to be on the same page.
You said that you were sometimes the voice of reason on the headset. What does that sound like? What's an instance when you would get on there?
Well, sometimes people freak out on there and start yelling and screaming. Or other times people are talking that shouldn't be talking. But I'm more of the comic relief on there, I would say, at least week one, with some timely or ill-timely jokes, untimely, I guess. But I've heard some freakouts in the past.
How much did you get out of these weeks in Latrobe, whether it's the, reps themselves or learning guys or even learning the fan base and that kind of thing from this whole experience?
Mike talks about it being things that you can't measure. The connections that happened here. Yesterday we had a home run derby here. And I was out in the hot sun just shagging shortstop for the most part. Bragging on Christian Kuntz for making a bunch of errors at the hot corner. But it's just those moments that you love. And as much as I look forward to my bed and not have to worry about bed bugs at times, I'll miss this experience just because it's really special to be able to make this walk down the hill every day and see the fans in the crowd, even when it's a hot day like today, is pretty special. And have the times in the calf with the guys and find different guys to get to know, have lunch with, and then the night times over the dorms where you're talking football, talking life, playing cards, whatever it is, playing video games. I didn't forgot how to play video games, but I had to remember just to connect with those guys. I'll definitely miss those times.
Do you make it a point
about how Mike Tomlin was a big draw for you signing here? I'm curious what your relationship was like before signing. Were there any memorable interactions maybe around the Super Bowl or any other previous interactions that stand out?
No, not really around the Super Bowl. Just the one time we tried to catch him at 12 on the field and he called timeout pretty quick and I looked over at him and he kind of nodded. I kind of nodded back. I've always respected him. I've talked to guys that played for the Steelers over the years.
Steelers Nation. Last night's 17-14 loss to Tampa Bay might look disappointing on the scoreboard, but if you ask me, this was the moment our future rang its first real bell. Forget the final score. What matters is who showed up. Young players who stepped into the spotlight like they were born for this moment, flipping a preseason game into a sneak peek at something special. Let's start with Roman Wilson, the rookie wideout who's been quietly earning reps and trust since camp. He ripped off a 43-yard gain on the very first play of a crucial drive, reminding everyone what happens when timing meets opportunity. He hasn't played since his rookie season was derailed by injury, but now he's back, sleek, confident, and dangerous. He followed that explosive play with another big chunk of yardage later, showing that he can be a legitimate WR2, not just a camp darling. Then there's Caleb Johnson, a running back who kicked down the door on his second week. After a quiet debut, he came alive with 50 yards on just 11 carries, slicing through angles with vision and staying upright where others might have gone down. That kind of run isn't luck. It's polished, it's ready, and it deserves real notice. On the defensive front, Derek Harmon made his mark early. His bull rush first quarter sack, an 11-yard takedown, stopped traffic, got fans on their feet, and proved he can deliver the kind of push this line needs. Depth players also made compelling cases. Scotty Miller keeps edging closer to locking up that roster spot. His coach's trust and his crisp routes in camp aren't going unnoticed. Meanwhile, Rock Taylor, Max Hurleman, and Brandon Johnson all flashed hands, separation, and fight. Any one of them could be the wild card who actually breaks a game open once the regular season rolls around. Sure, there were struggles. The team went 2 of 12 on third downs, penalties piled up, and turnovers reared up at the worst times. But here's the key. The young guys needed this. They delivered. That matters more than points on the board when you're building for depth and resiliency. And let's be real, guys. A preseason loss isn't the offseason death of our hopes. It's a test run. What we saw tonight? Energy, scrappiness, the raw, electrifying spark of opportunity. This is how culture grows. One explosive catch, one smash on my back sack, one back-breaking run by a rookie who was told he had to earn everything. Now it's your turn, Steelers Nation. Who impressed you most? Is Roman Wilson stepping into his role as WR2? Does Caleb Johnson look like a starter to make you forget the veteran option? Can Harmon anchor this defensive push? Sound off in the comments. Hit that like if you're hyped by our young guns breaking through. Subscribe if you want every preseason moment broken down and every star in the making tracked straight into the season. Because last night didn't reveal a loss, it revealed the next wave of Steelers. Let's ride this energy forward. Steelers Nation, the future is black and gold, and it's flashing right at us.